All right, y'all, so today I am doing a reading for air signs for the Ascension process that's going on in September, kind of getting a feel for that energy. If you're new to me, I'll explain just a little bit about the way that I read tarot. So I am an intuitive reader. I let the cards tell me a story, and I translate that story for you. So we're going to start. Here I have the Chariot card. It's upright. So the Chariot is really all about like charging forward. What I'm getting with the Chariot, it's like triumph over obstacles, victory. It's all about like establishing an identity, really taking control like of the reins, like starting to feel like you kind of have a sense of direction and you're ready to go. And what I'm feeling is like that's kind of the energy of this group. Is like, all right, we've been through some tough stuff. We've been through this purging. We've been through this struggle, and now we're kind of ready to like move on. Like we're ready to kind of move on into this next phase, moving into the 5D, moving into that new way of living energetically. But with the pairing here of the Six of Wands and the King of Swords in reverse, what that's telling me is there's a little feeling of being stuck. The Six of Wands really, it's a lot about that same victory. But with it being in reverse, it's telling me that there's like some resistance there. Like it's just not quite, it's like I want to charge forward. I want that victory, but it's just kind of eluding me. It's not quite there. I'm ready for it. I feel like I'm moving in that direction, but it seems like I'm a little bit stuck. And what I'm feeling from that, especially with the King of Swords involved, is that has less to do with you and more to do with the overall universal energies that are going on. Like it's kind of like a when it's the right time kind of thing. The King of Swords is really that kind of guy that's like, he's ready to go. He's like ready to spring into action. He's ready to get things done and ready to go. And with him in reverse, it's not ready to go. Like there's just a little bit of stuckness left when it pertains to this Chariot of like moving forward and going and like start moving towards this new goal, really, the new you, the new experience that you're getting kind of eager to experience with this shift. So we move over from that into kind of what you're feeling about that. Six of Pentacles is a lot about cycles. And with it being paired with Judgment and with the Seven of Wands, that's telling me that there's like a frustration there. Like, is it me? Is it the universe? Is it my twin flame? Is it like what's going on? Like, where does the power really lie here? That's kind of the energy that I'm getting with that, is like, what's causing this stuckedness? What's causing this inability to really like charge forward into this, into what I'm wanting, into the stuff that I've been working really hard to like do the work and keep my vibration good and like you feel like you're doing it right, you know, and you're not really seeing the reward. So this is, I'm getting the energy of like, with the Judgment in reverse, it's like, who's doing this? Like, what's happening with this? Seven of Wands is a lot about like facing difficulties, but also like feeling like there's some kind of competition. So again, that's when this comes to like the resources and feeling like there's some kind of disconnect there, and Judgment is saying like there's a struggle to determine like what's really at play here, what's determining this feeling of being stuck, because I feel like I'm ready to move on. I feel like I'm ready to meet my twin flame. I feel like I'm ready to move into my abundance. I feel like I'm, you know, ready to go, but I feel stuck. So what is it? Like, what's causing this stuck energy? And the truth of the matter is, I think it's a combination of all of it. Because we move over here to the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles really represents like reaping the rewards. So there's really nothing stuck. Like, we are moving into the reaping of the reward. We are moving into it. So this feeling of like being stuck and trying to figure out like, well, what's stuck? What's going on? Like, why is this going on? Like, what I'm getting from this, and it leading and saying like, the reward's right here. The reward of the, you know, Ace of Pentacles represents like home and prosperity and security and reaping the rewards. So it's kind of like this, with the Judgment card in reverse, it's like, this isn't real. Like, this feeling of like, is it me? Is it them? Is it the universe? It's like, it's all of it, but it's nothing. Like, it's none of them, but it's all of them kind of thing, because everything is happening as it should be. Like, everything's happening in the right timing, because the reward is coming. Like, this stuff has been put out and it is manifesting. Like, I feel like the reason that this energy is here, where it's like, this frustrated, like, why can't I move forward into this, is because we really have this desire all the time to like do, and we feel like, I've got to be doing something. I need to be doing something, and I want this now because I could feel it. Like, the energy is really palpable. Like, you can almost feel like you're on the edge, you're on the precipice of reaping this reward, but you're like, well, where is it? What's holding it back? And with the messages is that nothing is. Nothing's holding it back. It's all being worked out the way that it's supposed to be. And that's getting confirmed here. The Page of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, and the Moon all in reverse. Page of Pentacles is like really pretty down to earth. Like, she really represents like a rootedness, a groundedness. Two of Pentacles is like a juggling act. So what this is telling me is like the beliefs that we have associated to what's going on here, they're out of balance. Like, there's an imbalance going on there, where we're thinking, you know, what, especially with the Six of Pentacles, like, what is the proper distribution of this? Like, where does the fault lie? Kind of thing, like, in this kind of frustrated energy. And what we're being told here is there's an imbalance in that. That's not true. The Moon is all about kind of like illusions and things that, I mean, it's just not real. It's living in a place of like a realm that's beyond, you know, like it's it's a feeling of like distortion and stuff like that. So again, with that in reverse, it's telling me, as it's paired with these like that, it's just telling me that there's a disconnect. Something is out of alignment with the belief, like that things are getting worked on. And so the Death card with the Hangman, it's telling me here that it's time to let go of that. Like, we have to let go of that energy. Death is really, I look at that always as like a rebirth. When it's in reverse, it's definitely telling me that something is needing to be let go of that's not serving us. And with the Hangman there with the Death card, it's really strongly representing like we have to release this feeling that something is wrong, because this is what this is representing. Like, what's wrong? Like, what's out of balance? That's an illusion. That's not true. So there's nothing out of balance. So we have to let that go, and we have to start looking at stuff. The Hangman is so funny, because every time I come across this card, it seems like a negative card. You know, you picture some guy hanging from a tree, but he's hanging from a tree like he's happy. He's having a good time. He's looking at things from a different perspective. So when we get this card, what we're really being asked to do is like slow down, take a breath. You need to gain new perspective on this, because the way that you're looking at it is really kind of throwing you off. Like, it's not the reality of the situation. So we move over to the King of Cups, that he's in reverse. And the King of Cups is like Mr. Patience. Like, he's like the patient guy. And he's in reverse here. So what that says to me is that that's really what's causing this feeling, is impatience. Like, we're not being patient. We're not just kind of sitting back and trusting and allowing and saying, okay, all right, I'll try to start looking at things from a different and better perspective, and I will start to exhibit my patience, because with this in reverse, it's saying that we're not utilizing that energy. We move over to the Knight of Swords, which this guy, he's all about like really like moving forward fearlessly. Like, he charges in, he's ready to go. And the Eight of Pentacles is about like creating something. I like how this one is represented by a spider creating its web, because that's some of the best, most amazing craftsmanship and architecture that exists. And so this Knight of Swords paired with the Eight of Pentacles, it's telling me that we have to let go of this feeling like something is stuck. That's really what this is about. It's like, it's not stuck. That's why the Ace of Pentacles is here. Like, the reward is on its way, but we have to let go of this like illusion that it is and have more patience. And the Knight of Swords is then saying, like, get yourself back into alignment with this concept and idea that you are moving forward into the creation of your dream, of what you're wanting to do, of what you have set out to create. Because when we get into this energy where we start believing that things are stuck, we're going to start creating more of that stuck energy, right? Because that's the vibrational alignment. That's what we're going to vibrate at. So I feel like this is telling us, like, no, like, stop feeling like you're stuck. Just have some patience, but really continue to move forward, deliberately creating what you're wanting. So keep going. Like, keep doing the work, keep doing the exercises, keep doing the like the positive affirmations and your manifestation work, and really continue to put that energy in, because without that energy, we're finding ourselves in an 8 of Wands situation. And that situation is making it feel like we're, like, 8 of Wands represents like the beginning of a journey. And so we're feeling like nothing is happening, you know, like we're ready to take this next step. That's what the chariot is saying. Like, we're ready to go. We're ready to move into this next step. But with it in reverse, like, there's a part of us that doesn't believe that. Like, we're like, what if there is no next step? Like, what if I stay in this state of frustration and feeling like I'm on the precipice of this big change, but like, what if it never comes? What if it never happens? And that's not true. Like, it's coming, it's happening. That's why the Ace of Swords came to me next, because the Ace of Swords is really here to tell us that, you know, things are moving. It's going to be okay. The Ace of Swords really represents like clarity. Like, things are clear. But how do we get that clarity is the Hermit, which was in reverse, is by really going inside. It's like really tapping in. When we can get into that place where we are tapped in and getting that message and getting that clarity, that's when we're going to start to remember and realize that we are doing this for a reason. Like, something is happening. We can reconnect to the goal that is for everyone, you know, that is that common goal. And that leads us to the last card, which is the Fool card, but it's in reverse. And the Fool, she's kind of funny. She's all about like the energy of like moving, like going, like going really, likes to like kind of rush in, doesn't really think about it, kind of rash almost. But the Fool card really represents like new beginnings and adventures, pleasure, passion. With her in reverse, it's really representing to me that is what's happening. But we don't want to rush it. Like, you know, like we don't want to rush what we're doing and try to like force this stuff into alignment, because that never works, right? We end up creating a disimbalance, because things are going to come when we are in complete alignment with those. And if we're trying to make the stuff happen when we're not in that right alignment, we'll either create something that we end up regretting that we created, or we're going to get it and then not be able to keep it. So that's what this card is about. It's about saying like, you know, you do have the new beginning coming. The adventures are coming. You're going to have that passion. You're going to have the excitement. You're going to have that, but allow it to come. Don't try to rush this. Have the King of Cups patience. Let go of this feeling that something is wrong because you're in this feeling and season of waiting. Just keep creating, keep doing the work, and it's coming. So I wish I could give something more hopeful, but I mean, that's the message here today, is don't fall into the trap of like thinking you're stuck, because you're not stuck. It's just being built. You know, it's under construction and it's on its way.